I hope not.
No, that'll be the start of the episode. Welcome to episode 16 of Escape Pod.
Oh no!
You did that right when I hit record.
Oh, okay. That's fine. We'll work it in.
It's literally the beginning of the episode.
I was trying to make it sort of like a nice I was trying to get all of the bad juju kind of out of my kind of system, and now all this.
So it's all good vibes now, right?
Yeah, like I think any kind of demonic essence has left my body, so we should be good to go.
That's good, because right now we're on episode 16 of Escape Pod. I'm here with our biggest guest yet, actually. We haven't had You're the most subscribed guest we've had on the show so far.
Yeah, please like and subscribe, or everybody listening. You know, this is the only reason I'm here. You know, cashing a paycheck right now.
Yeah,
I squeeze it into a busy schedule.
Right, he did do the art for season 3 of the show, which will be, I'll toss it on screen, and it'll be on screen for several hours come season 3, episodes 20, episodes 21.
Well, it's like I enjoy doing that. Like, I think it'll be cool the way if you can work in, you know, other people in there, however they want to be represented. You could throw in some like sick PNGs of like whatever you guys discuss.
Yeah,
so it could be cool.
I always collect PNGs or images representing our guest, and it always works really well. That's why there's always extra room on our art, and there's always enough room for a number and a guest. But right now what I do is I record the Discord visual right here, and I key out the
Discord visual.
Well, like the ring.
Oh, so they're gonna see the voices kind of flickering away there.
Yeah. Well, I record these two icons right here, right?
Well, I didn't realize that because like I didn't want like a face reveal happening, and my avatar is my face, you know.
That's your real face.
Yeah, well, yeah. Contrary to like popular belief, that is accurate.
You're just like a cartoon woman in real life with the British accent.
Oh yeah. I mean, did you expect anything less?
No, I don't know what I expected, man. You said it's a photograph, not a drawing.
Oh well, looks can be deceiving, you know. I got like further filters on there, you know. There's kind of like a.
So maybe it's rotoscoped a little.
You know, we got some of that Marvel Cinematic Universe de-aging shit on me, and it just kind of made me look fucking adorable.
Well, that's better. It's better than the DC's mustache removal.
Oh well, they did remove my mustache from this image as well, but Disney, just saying fuck you to Warner Brothers again. You know, the mouse always wins.
Yeah, we have DC and Marvel working together to get FroggywithFries' profile picture here.
Oh yeah. This is phase 1 of the cinematic Discord call that will be taking place.
Yes.
Over the next, tune in next episode, and you might see me sneaking at the end, and I'll be like, "Hey, we're putting a podcast together."
I'll be like the Stan Lee of the universe, where I make a cameo and everything.
Oh no, that'd be terrible because you'll just end up dead.
Well, I mean, after like 94 years of living, how old was he?
Man, he was like 96, 97. It was actually quite soon after his birthday in which he died.
Yeah. So he'd have
how did you like find that out when he like died? Where were you when Stan Lee died?
I was on Twitter, and I just kept.
That's the place to be for dead celebrities.
Yeah, it really is, because it's almost immediate. Like, I think when celebrities die, there's like a button in their brain that goes off that tweets about it.
Yeah, it's Hollywood's fucking cemetery is Twitter.
Yeah, but I remember watching his Twitter videos. He's such an adorable man. I love Stan Lee so much.
He was really, really sweet. I always got a genuine vibe that he was like super enthusiastic with his fans. Really weird though. I was in Disneyland at the time, and we were about to ride the new Guardians of the Galaxy attraction that opened up, and one of the guys I was with, he just checks like his phone, and he's like, "Oh look, Stan Lee's dead," and I was like, "Okay, that's like a fucking meme, like that's like a joke article." And it's like, no, he's like legitimately dead, like CNN, ABC, like this dude's dead. And I was like, holy shit, that's really weird, because you're like about to ride this Marvel ride, and we turned the corner into the attraction, and they've kind of got like a video playing like Guardians of the Galaxy. You've got Chris Pratt like on screen, like, and but the camera pans, and they snuck a Stan Lee cameo into like the safety fucking video for the ride.
Oh.
and he's there, and like normally like the whole room was like really awkward because it was like, wow, he's just fucking dead, and there he is on like a fucking IMAX screen. Very strange.
You should have just like shouted it like, for anyone who doesn't know, Stanley just passed away.
I would have been arrested by like no one dies in Disneyland. That's the way it
Oh
goes.
yeah, that's right. It's well, Stanley was immortalized by Disneyland.
They actually did a really cute thing at the Spider-Man attraction in Universal Studios. They set up like a little desk where people can like leave notes on this desk in the Daily Bugle. That's kind of like in memory of
Oh,
Stanley. I saw that the
that's
other day. That
so
was pretty neat.
cute. I
Yeah, but enough death.
were you in
You know,
were you
we're
in
forward
Florida?
fucking thinking. No, I was in LA at the time.
Okay, so that's Disney World.
That's Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Disneyland
Okay,
Resort.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Secret about me, fucking huge geek for when it comes to like Disneyland and Disney theme parks.
Oh,
Not a huge like Disney movie person, but I really love the theme parks.
So do you watch stuff like Defunct Land or something like that?
I've seen a couple of their videos. Yeah, all the stuff about like this stuff where like Buzzy the like animatronics getting stolen from like old attractions and shit that never got made and stuff that is like super interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. I live near a theme park in Ohio called Kings Island, and there's a lot of
Hmm.
stuff like that. Like there used to be a ride called Son of Beast. It was like the world's biggest roller coaster, like wooden roller coaster with a loop in the middle,
Oh wow,
and people kept
looping
getting
wooden
like
one.
yeah, but it was considered dangerous. People kept like hurting their necks on it, and they removed the loop, and now
Hmm.
the ride's gone
Yeah, well, I mean
entirely.
that happens. Like you get all these kind of urban explorers sneaking into old attractions and things, and just kind of like, I stole like a fucking plank of wood from this old shitty roller coaster, and now I have it framed on my grandmother's like wall. You know?
I've never heard of that happening, but I can see it happening. Yes.
Yeah, well, there's like in Japan, there's this whole like these Japanese investors went over to Disneyland, and they were like, okay, we're gonna steal this idea. This is like back in like the 70s,
Hmm.
and they build a place called Dreamland in Japan, and it was just an entire one-to-one copy of Disneyland, pretty much. And the
That's
Disneyland were like, okay, fuck you, lawsuit. Went over there themselves and made like an official Disneyland, and that Dreamland is like decrepit and fucked up, and like all these like YouTube Urban Explorer kids go out there and like film it, and it's like, oh shit, look at this old like fucked up castle.
Have
It's
they found
weird.
any dead bodies in the?
We'll have to wait for the next Logan Paul blog and check it out.
Heck, I've had that bell notification on, but there hasn't been any more Japan vlogs.
I know, like when's like Quasimodo ringing that bell. Disney have got that thing on lockdown. Not gonna happen.
Oh, like Disney, like now, like owns that area.
Well, they dropped Paul, didn't they? So no one's ringing that bell if
Yeah,
if Paul's not with the Disney Channel anymore.
crazy how much they
I didn't want
depend.
to make this about Logan Paul. This is about the number one YouTuber, Froggy with Fries. Check it out. We got all sorts of
Yeah, uh,
look at all them speed paints.
past T series long ago. Froggy with Fries, you see.
Hmm.
But I noticed with your content, you only is your cool stuff in 2018 the only video with your voice
Um,
or one
I
of
mean,
few?
no. There's one or two animations where I do voice, like a male character, or not always male. Actually, I think there's a few where I voice a female character. But
Okay.
normally I want to get VAs in to actually do stuff. But at the
Are
moment it's kind of leaning on one voice actress. But I'm trying to branch out now and get more voices provided.
I really do. Well, let me know. But are Mimi and Debbie voiced by the same girl? I assume.
Yeah, so we do the one thing that's so I suppose I should maybe just go into the little OC kind of scenario. I don't take the whole OC thing particularly seriously or not. Like none of my characters have particularly anything like a backstory. They're much more kind of mascots. They're like an idea that
Right.
that people can look at and get just a vibe of like a personality. And if
Mm-hmm.
that personality can kind of channel a joke or a situation that has a little beginning, middle, and end,
Mm-hmm.
just like the iconic character Garfield. Check him out. He's probably in a newspaper somewhere.
He's a little
But
bit.
just kind of
He's
you
one of the
know,
smaller mascots. Some people might not know who that is.
just just a character that has like a relatable trait or an appealing trait, that you can put them in a situation and and it'll just be kind of a cute A to B. The stuff I try and do doesn't try and be particularly complex or have much of a storyline at all, really. But yeah, Peachtree McGee shouts out is she VAs both Mimi and Demi. She's been called Demu in the past, sort of like the Japanese term for waifu. But Arby's gotten shit for that. Waifu, ban that word now. But yeah, Demi is what she's called now. But
people have a problem with the word waifu now.
Oh, there was a whole controversy. Like with Arby's did like a whole draw the Arby's like waifu hashtag fucking fan art thing.
Yeah.
And then they were penalized. Apparently, some waifu is like seen as offensive potentially now. But that's the way it's doing.
Trap is considered derogatory now. Has that
it is to some people for sure.
Has that created any issues with like how you go about displaying like drawings of Vlad or anything like?
And I'm in the ballpark that character in particular has nothing to do with any kind of transsexuality. So using the term like trans would be totally inappropriate for that character anyway, because that's not personally how I want them portrayed, because that's not how they are. So back when Tumblr, like a few years ago, I threw that in the tags, but it's not something I would do now, because it's strange. I created that character to be an outlet for appealing to the people that want to see that kind of stuff. But now it's almost like I want to take that character in a totally different direction. It's like taking it from something that's just like, hey, now I can draw cute characters with dicks. Pretty much, I can take it into a different direction and be like, well, what's this character actually about? Why is this character the way they are? Why, what kind of cute situation can I put them in? I took it much more in a direction of taking it from like adult stuff into, I just kind of want to make this kind of sweet and kind of silly and things. But yeah, I mean, some people do get offended by that stuff. But I have a lot of friends in that community with differing opinions and how like the context of language is with that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I try and keep that all separate from my artwork.
Yeah, it is important to separate, like, I don't know, just the meaning people give to words is kind of what's important. Depends on how it's used.
Yeah, and I think just keeping it separate from art, artwork, is all open to interpretation, isn't it? So I don't really want to tell anybody how they see that stuff or what they might think about a certain character.
Absolutely.
But leaving it more mellow and open to how people want to see it is the way to go.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about was your main mascot, prominently displayed throughout your social media, is Mimi.
Yes.
And she's very inspired by like classic diners and food. I was wondering, what kind of food do you like? What inspired that? Like what made you?
Well, she didn't like originally start out as a diner thing. Like it all came about with gosh, okay, so Egoraptor, Aaron Hansen of now Game Grumps fame, back in like 07, 08, he ran a contest for a Flash cartoon he was working on at the time with, I think, Tomorrow. I can't remember the individual's name, but he's like one of the heads of Studio Yotta. But they were doing a show called Girl Chan in Paradise, if you've seen it.
I have not.
And it was just like a little Flash. It was like an old like Flash cartoon that was on Newgrounds. And for one of the episodes, they ran a character creation contest.
Okay.
And for that character creation contest, I was like, okay, well, let's just make this really over the top, kind of like overly cute teddy bear, chubby little mess of a girl. And there's a character called Swirly Glasses that's kind of like the generic geeky anime character. And I was like, well, we'll make it like, oh, she's like infatuated with this Swirly Glasses character. So I did that, and I needed a name at the time, and there was a girl that I had on MSN Instant Messenger from my high school, and she presented herself on MSN as Mimi-chan. And at the time, I thought it was kind of like very funny that like this like British girl was just referring to herself as Mimi-chan. I guess she was maybe a little bit of a weeb or whatever, but we all were in high school. But I thought, well, what a silly name for this character. So I just put it in and I sent it off for the Egoraptors contest. But due for whatever reason on Egoraptors' end, they never made another episode of Girl Chan in Paradise. So I remember revisiting that character, and I was like, well, if they're never going to make Girl-chan in Paradise again, I'd love to like try and make like a stupid anime parody. So in high school, I was like, okay, we'll make a stupid parody. I made this terrible, terrible Flash animation, which is Mimi Moppu, and it was like just supposed to be like a bad fan. Like what if a kid made a shitty anime? It was exactly what I did, but it was like intentionally bad. Um, but it kind of just came up with that, and that sort of what it was. I made a second one, and it was also pretty terrible. And but it got to a point when I kind of stopped drawing for ages, and I came back to drawing, and I was like, okay, well, I'll draw her again just to kind of get used to drawing girls.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, my old YouTube channel had just been defunct, so I was like, okay, well, I need a name. I will keep part of the old username with Froggy, and then I'll throw in with Fries. And with that, I was like, okay, well, I'll draw her in like a big packet of like French fries, and we'll make her look like a fast food assistant. And that was like the origin of it. And from there, the outfit just kind of developed as I kind of started drawing again, and hopefully my art style improved a little bit as time went on. Until I kind of took that weird, plucky personality from those old shitty Flash cartoons
Mm-hmm.
and applied it to this kind of fast food maid, this girl that's optimistic but selfish. She loves her friends, but she's like incredibly lazy. Um, and that was kind of the vibe I was going for. It's a like somebody who's like lazy and a layabout and kind of a little bit like salty, grumpy, but she deep down is like super soft with everybody, but it's just like her own selfish gluttony that gets the better of herself.
You seem to have this character really well developed. You said like these characters weren't really meant to be like any deeper story, but do you ever plan on having like do you in your mind have like an idea for like a bigger thing planned with these characters, like a show or a comic?
Well, not in the sense of like a crossover where these characters would ever mingle together.
Oh, so they're not in like the same universe.
They it's weird, sort of like if they are in my brain, they're sort of in the
Mm-hmm.
same universe, but also in the realm of like they'd probably never interact outside of like the set of like Mimi characters, and then you've kind of got like the more monster girl type characters.
Yeah.
But that's just like the kind of goofy thing where I can draw them in the same sort of situations. But
Oh, okay.
with Mimi, I've got 3 pages of a comic out on my Patreon. I think it's been put out public now. I've got ideas to continue those pages, and I do have a story in my brain for her that kind of pulls ideas from the original shitty Flash that I had made. There is an entire third episode of that original Flash that has all the audio produced and some of the animation done, but I've never released it or finished it.
Ooh, we're talking about some unreleased stuff here now. This is getting nice.
I think some of it's like on my Patreon somewhere. Plug the Patreon, shouts
Oh,
out,
of course. So
patreon.com
uh,
slash Froggy with
I'll
Fries.
try to link everything I can for you. You do
It's,
have
that's
everything
fine,
though.
man.
You have everything. Like I remember I first saw you on Facebook years back, and now like you're on. What are you not on? You're on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, YouTube,
Hentai Foundry.
Hentai Foundry.
That's the way to go. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as social media evolves, you got to keep up with that shit. It's hard enough.
Absolutely.
With Tumblr kind of going by the wayside, art is like kind of lives and dies on Twitter mainly now. I know that
Yeah.
there are other websites set up, but
Well,
if I feel like all artists are kind of on Twitter.
yeah, that's where I get my art at, especially in the not safe for work stuff because Instagram is really disappointing when it comes to this their shitty censorship.
Mm.
But
I mean, that's kind of how it went with Tumblr.
yeah,
And I've noticed a entire decline in engagement on Tumblr as well,
like
from the sort of content that I posted there.
like less likes and stuff like that, or
It's a shame to just see it all kind of dip now.
yeah, it's amazing
Um,
how porn really held the world together.
it's not even necessarily about pornography. It's the bots and stuff as simple as no adult content. That doesn't even include pornography. That's just drawing a character nude. That's drawing a character. You could be doing life drawing or something, and it could still get pulled for being adult. when you might just want to draw a character nude, you might need to be doing like a model sheet. And
Mm.
because it's all run by the robotic algorithm, as soon as it's put out and it's blocked, you then have to wait through the whole process of it to get approved again. And by that point, your followers, that original post would be pushed way down on their timeline because of the amount of time taken to get it seen by a human to approve it.
So it's almost
It
as if
sucks.
like the same problem YouTube has.
In a way, yeah, yeah. I mean, YouTube's strange with adult content because I feel like obviously visually from an art point of view, if you have a cartoon that has explicit violence or nudity,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that will get pulled. But then there's kind of like these like gaps where you'll have animations that do contain things like that
Yeah,
just kind of stay online forever.
I know. Back in
I
like
know
the
me the
oh
it
yeah.
was Gynex, the Gynex music video.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of kept getting pulled and pulled and pulled because it had nudity and sexual themes and even a little
Excellent
bit of
video though.
violence in there. Amazing video. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I wouldn't even put it in the realm of like not safe for work. It's
Yeah,
almost it is
it's more art than porn in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's no more sexual than a lot of other music videos that are on YouTube are
Right.
like
Well,
sexual.
I mean, like with real people, especially.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's just strange that like, over time, because more people kept uploading that eventually Me is just kind of allowed to settle. But other YouTube stuff does, it is a lot more shaky. I've had stuff pulled before for maybe like just pushing the boundaries a little bit.
there is certain things on YouTube that I'm amazed are still around. Like I know I don't want to jinx it with certain things, so I'm not going to mention no Filthy Frank or anything. But something I'm glad is still on YouTube is like those classic back when Newgrounds started porting their videos over to YouTube, like what's it called, like Power Trip or the one
Mm.
League of Legends thing that Twisted Grim had like the two fox girls making out.
Oh yeah.
Like the classic videos, wonderful videos, but like I'm just so glad that they're not like, are they age restricted? I haven't checked.
Well, yeah. Well, those are all still up on there, I think, but all the
Mm-hmm.
uncensored stuff is like uploaded to Newgrounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Um,
the really the versions that are even like more raunchy are definitely elsewhere, but
hmm.
YouTube still.
Well, I mean, like that's the case with like if you want to be uncensored, you need to put it on a your own personal platform or a site that allows that kind of thing. Personally,
Yeah.
for me, I never feel like I would ever push myself that far. I mean, you say like I'm like a not safe for work artist or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, it's much more like any not safe for work stuff should kind of be for Patreon because I feel like it should be there for the people who are actively paying and supporting to receive that content in
Absolutely.
particular, as opposed to for me personally, if I want to put stuff out into kind of the ether and the void and just put it out there and like, oh, okay, let's see what people think of this. I want
Mm-hmm.
it to be something that isn't kind of fueled by, okay, well, I need to make this to please somebody. It was much more something that, well, I think this is neat. I think this is, cute and appealing. And me putting it out there because I wanted to draw it rather than like, oh, people are paying to see that kind of content.
Right, and
I don't think I would ever draw straight up like hentai style, not safe for work of my own accord.
right. But I was thinking about that earlier. How like a lot of not safe for work artists use mm, use like the sexual stuff for more followers, and then they start shifting their attention towards safe for work stuff and more less revolved around
Mm.
sexual sex and such.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to how people do fan art.
Mm-hmm.
So like rather than people do fan art to just kind of grab a certain audience, you're there drawing, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog fan art. You're going to get a huge section of that community with their eyeballs on your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, you can just start to drip feed, your own content in there alongside it. And I think it's no
Right.
different from Not Safe for Work. And Not Safe for Work art has its own following in the same way that you've got the fandom communities that look at stuff.
Well, do you ever feel like your passion for art is more geared towards like one side or the other when it comes to safe for work or not safe for work? Like, do you enjoy making one more than the other?
I think probably in terms of enjoyment, it's probably that in between. It's like the old those old 1950s pinups. You're
Yeah,
saying about the diner theme.
the
There's
classier
old
stuff.
diner 50s diner artworks with the waitresses in like roller skates and the skirt and things, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
even it is safe for work. A character that is like clothed but maybe has a little bit of skin on show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just at that right point of like still being appealing but not boring. Like
Right.
if something's too safe, it can be boring. If something's too over the top and gratuitous, then it can almost become unappealing. But
Mm-hmm.
the in between is sort of where I like to work. So anything from a character in a maybe slightly compromising position, but it's always portrayed in like a fun, positive kind of way.
Right.
Um, that's the kind of stuff I like to put together myself. But I'm honestly fine with either. Um, with not safe for work stuff, I understand that I I'm not necessarily making it for myself. I'm trying to appeal to a demographic, and with stuff that's more safe for work, it's the same kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Planet Dolan stuff, I try and make sure it is like this needs to be fun. Sometimes with those Planet Dolan stories, we get stories that can maybe get a little bit dark or a little bit gruesome, and I always try and with the artwork make it fun because I assume that a lot of younger people might check it out. So like if a character like cuts their leg or something, then I try and make it over the top and fun. I don't want to kind of draw like a character with like a cut that could be seen as realistic almost. I try and do it so it's kind of like whoa, it's like this kind of fun. Like I'll put the color of blood is like an off color, and it's
Yeah.
like a crazy over the top reaction to it to kind of make it more like I guess kind of like a Nickelodeon. Like when Nickelodeon used to do those like close ups of like a painted version of something, and you get that foghorn like mm, to
Yeah,
like
like
be like hey yeah
yeah, like in SpongeBob. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah
The Planet Dolan stuff. I know there used to be a lot of again, a lot of like more risque stuff on that channel, but it's kind of like shifted away from that. Has that been due to YouTube's new rules and algorithm, or is that just due to lack of interest?
I'm not too sure,
Hmm.
honestly. I would, if I had to assume so, I would say it's maybe due to the algorithms changing.
Yeah.
Obviously, if YouTube flags a video, then you lose the AdSense on that. So you
Hmm.
want to be making content that gets people interested, but also is meeting their guidelines. It's at the end of the day, it's YouTube's website, and it's
Right.
up to them. What gets money attributed to it.
Yeah. How much involvement do you have with Planet Dolan and Super Planet Dolan? Because I know you animate and edit for them, but
Yeah,
how
yeah.
how
So
often?
the way it kind of works is, I kind of just get given. Well, I've kind of had two big projects either side, with
Hmm.
it being mostly just being given scripts. So if I get given scripts and audio for a video, whether that's like a slideshow style illustration thing, or if
Hmm.
it's a more intensive, I've had to like lip sync 10-minute videos before now. I have to listen to the audio. I mean, I have to edit the audio sometimes as well, which can be pretty like hectic with the amount of
Hmm.
files going on. But
Editing audios can be
and then I just
rough.
yeah. Well, you'll have a great time editing this podcast then. But
Well, there's not a lot to cut out. I think we're doing pretty good so far.
all right, okay. Smooth sailing. This is like a speed run. We'll awesome podcast done quick. I'm into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, but I'll have to like animate just based on the script and the dialogue.
Hmm.
So it's just listening to how the voice actor or the narrator is kind of saying things. How long is this sentence valuable? How many like what's the more interesting visual that I can put more time into? If there's a sentence that's like, you know, Dolan went to the store, then that's not going to be super interesting. But if there's a sentence that's like he walked in on this, and this, then it's like
Hmm.
okay, well we'll want to focus on him maybe at the opening of the store, so we can show that he's entered and gone to the store. But then the focus of the animation is, or the visual more so, is going to be everything that's going on in there.
Right. I I've only discovered those with because I was so interested in the ones with critical in them. Have you I know you're good buds with the Planet Dolan team. Like I know you're pals with Hellbent. Am I right?
Yes, Hellbent's lovely.
Yes, I like his voice a lot.
He's got a great voice
Oh
that
yeah.
always seems to. I know he's fantastic. I need to play some more Smash Brothers with him at some point.
Heck, have you been on like his
But
streams or anything?
I think he streams all the time, really. But
Yeah.
it's just time zones, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. I
I'm in the
guess.
UK, so it's always a pain in the butt
Yeah.
to get together.
What is it for you? Like 7:20?
420,
Four.
420 all the time.
Oh yes, I can. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That game
But no,
took me a
I've
second.
oh, what's up?
Oh, I just said it took me a second to get the joke.
Oh, right, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Before you like give me a second, I was like, oh sweet, time for like a bathroom break. But no, we're good. But Critical, I've never personally met. No.
I hope to someday meet him. He is one of my favorite YouTubers.
Does he do
Uh,
like let's plays and things like that?
he used to. He used to do like, "What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I'm playing da da da. I'm commentating it while I'm playing it. Let's do this shit." But he doesn't do that anymore, and now he'll find like weird stuff on the internet to commentate over, and he actually makes videos of his own face more than anything now. And
Okay,
I've been
interesting. This is the problem. Like, I don't know any like YouTube shit that goes on. So
well,
I get asked this shit, and I'm just like, wait, who's that? I don't know.
I know Hellbent was on his podcast.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's how I that was the first time hearing of Hellbent, but that guy has such a sexy voice.
Yeah, he's like he was the guy that kind of pushed me. He was like, hey, if we need like more artists, like check my stuff out, and he kind of, I'm assuming, pointed Dolan himself into kind of like into my direction, which I'm very grateful of. He's awesome.
So Hellbent discovered you first before joining the Planet Dolan team. Is that?
I think that's kind of how it went down. My
Mm-hmm.
memory's all like a little bit fucked on it all, but Hellbent's always been fantastic. Yeah.
Mine too. I've been trying really hard to get my facts straight in terms of the YouTube and social media lore. Make sure I don't get anything wrong.
Just follow everybody on Twitter and pray to fucking God that they follow you back. That's how it goes.
God, I don't like that method though. There's no like I've
Either.
never cared for those accounts where it's like, oh, they got 10,000 followers, but like they're following 20,000.
The way I enjoy, so I only really use Twitter in terms of social media, like in
Mm-hmm.
terms of to actually like see a feed. Like I'll usually head everywhere and post my stuff if I need to, but
Mm-hmm.
um Twitter I like just as long as somebody doesn't retweet like too much. I like seeing the people I follow's personal opinions and what they're interested in, what they're posting, what they're creating. That's what I like.
Twitter is definitely my favorite social media outside of YouTube because like Instagram's just pictures and Facebook is boring.
Mm,
And so like Twitter is actually like that sweet
yeah.
spot
Did you
where
just see that like that MySpace has like deleted 150 million songs or something?
I have not heard that. I thought
Oh
like
yeah.
you can't make your own profile on MySpace anymore, right? Like it's just for higher ups or something.
It was just for bands and music for a little
Mm-hmm.
while, but man, like I was just like surprised if like why like they've royally effed up. They've like deleted all their music. They were like moving all of their stuff over to a different server, and they've lost like a decade's worth of music.
Wow, that's insane. Like I guess they're kind of being isn't like SoundCloud their replacement or something?
I have no idea like who the parent company of like MySpace is. Yeah, and it's Tom. It's all Tom.
Huh.
Someone go ask him. He knows what's up.
Uh, I I'm not. Oh, I was barely around for any websites that aren't used anymore. Like I remember going on Newgrounds a lot, but
Still
unfortunately,
hanging in there.
yeah, Newgrounds is still going pretty strong. The only website I
I
can
think
think of,
the Tumblr purge helped with that for sure.
right? Oh yeah, that really helped them go back up in popularity. But the only website that I remember frequenting almost every day that's no longer just shadow of its former self is Channel Awesome.
Oh yes, way back when, classic.
Yeah, I know. The Cinema Snob is still on there though, and he's good.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
still going strong.
Some serious stuff went a little bit crazy with that website.
God, Yeah, but like, man, Nostalgia Critic's one person I like. My opinion just like went 180 degrees on because I used to like adore him as a when I was younger in middle school and stuff like that. But now
Mm.
like I just cannot. I haven't laughed at anything he
It
said in a long time.
yeah, I mean it's sense of humor matures and kind of shifts over time. I used to really love Invader Zim when I was
Right.
younger. And then the humor, like I still love that art style. I think Yonin, is it Yonin Vasquez?
Honan,
Jonin Vaz?
Honan
Yeah.
Vasquez. Yeah.
Hey, whatever that dude's name is, I
Mm-hmm.
love his art style.
Super
But
talented
like,
guy.
but the sense of humor of Zim was kind of that product of the time of like that early two
Yeah.
thousands Nickelodeon, where it was kind of like lol random. There's still some great jokes and visual gags in there,
Mm-hmm.
but like the face of that show is kind of that hot topic lol tacos waffles kind of lol random shit, which
Yeah.
I feel if I watched now I would be very not into.
Yeah. The way you described it you made it sound more like Teen Titans Go than Invader Zim.
I guess Teen Titans Go is like the modern version of that sort of style of humor.
The
But that's
movie
how,
was
how you are
actually.
when you're young. You kind of love that subversion of
Mm-hmm.
expectations. Like, oh, lol, that's funny just because I wasn't expecting that because that's sort of out of left field. But I
Despite
just don't think
your
it'll hold up.
despite your now like disdain for Invader Zim, would you watch the new movie when it comes out?
Oh yes, of course, yeah. I'm very looking forward to it. The style looks like very close to the new comics and
I'm
things.
I'm half
Um,
convinced they have like what's those movies that Nickelodeon are just hiding from us, like the Rocco's Modern Life movie and the Invader Zim movie. Is there anything else that they are hiding from us?
I don't think they're hiding it. I think the Rocco movie came out, as did the Hey Arnold one.
No,
They
the
had like
hey,
Hey Arnold, the Jungle.
I've seen the Jungle movie. The Jungle movie's okay. I've the Rocco's Modern Life movie is what I have not seen.
It's out. I understand it's all the characters like in like a modern setting, so it's like
Yeah,
there's
that
Rocco on
that
a
clip of
on a
it's out,
smartphone.
but I'm not seeing
Oh,
anywhere to
well,
watch it.
maybe it's not fully out yet. Then my mistake.
Yeah,
Maybe it would have made more
more
of
of an
a
impact. I guess I don't know. Like
yeah.
the Jungle movie was hyped up. Everybody wanted to see it. Then the moment it came out, it's just like nobody cared.
Yeah, I haven't gone out of my way to see that at all.
Yeah, I only watched it because I was on a road trip. So
Yeah, in terms of like recent animated stuff, I've been watching a little bit of that Love, Death, and Robots that's just gone up on Netflix. It's been up for like a few days.
I haven't. No, I haven't heard of that yet. You're
It's like
so
an
focused.
anthology series, so it's like 10-minute short animations, like
Oh,
one after
okay.
the other.
And they're
Uh,
not connected.
yeah. There's like a loose theme of like it's adult animation. There's like I guess Love, Death, and Robots sort of as a theme,
Oh, I see.
but it's cool. It's cool from what I've seen. There's some hit and miss, but
What's it
I'm not
called?
done with it yet. Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots. I need to check
Yeah,
that out now that I
I've
hear
been
about
having a
it.
good time with it. Big budget adult animation, so it's a good novelty. Usually with like adult stuff, we're having to look to like Adult Swim with like the Samurai Jack series, or
Yeah.
um, I guess a lot of anime is kind of that way. But
Yeah.
Netflix like going out on a whim to basically do a shitload of pilots in that style is
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
I really wish adult animation was given more money in America or anywhere outside of Japan because a lot of people dream of like making anime or making adult like anime budgeted levels of stuff and like not a lot of people can make it to that level because of how animation is treated. It never gets that level of respect outside of Japan.
Mm. I mean, that's why it's easier to just license the anime over to,
Mm-hmm.
air in Western countries. It's cheaper to dub Mob Psycho than it is to like make your own thing on the level of something like
Oh,
that. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, but I think some people like wish they could be a part of animating it or writing it, and like not a lot of Americans or Europeans can live that dream.
Yeah, I think the biggest risks of that side of things that we have seen is like, as I said, the Samurai Jack season 5.
Yeah.
But then again, that was leaning a lot on the nostalgia for that IP. One thing that
Mm-hmm.
I am excited about, but I guess it kind of falls in with how was it Adult Swim teamed up to bring Foolie Cooley back?
Yeah,
That was a Western company funding an anime production house.
right.
I personally didn't really like that series, but they're now doing it with Blade Runner. They're like funding a Blade Runner anime from the Cowboy Bebop creator.
Dude, that if that's not good, then they really fucked up. Because I love Bebop and I love Blade Runner. If they fuck it up, I swear.
Oh
Like
yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. I hope it'll
I
be
God,
great.
I hope so.
But yeah, just like that kind of stuff it's such a
Hmm.
risk that from
Yeah,
a Western studio. Maybe with this Love, Death and Robots thing, that Netflix will be a bit more bolder and want to take the
yeah.
risk. I guess Castlevania is another very adult show, and sure it's animated in Korea, but it's all
Hmm.
written, produced in the US. So that's a good example
Yeah, that
for high quality adult animation.
I wouldn't call it. Well, Castlevania is definitely high quality, but I know the last thing Adult Swim made that I was impressed with. Did you ever watch Ball Masters 9009?
Yeah, that was the Super Jail team,
Yeah,
Titmouse,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, I love Titmouse. They made, I think Titmouse animated parts of Neo Yokio, and Super Jail is one of my favorite shows of all time. So I'm hoping to see more stuff in that vein.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen Ballmasters yet, but I was a big fan of like the first two seasons of Super Jail. It kind of lost its appeal to me in the later
Yeah.
seasons, but
Well, season 4 is short, and they didn't do the opening stuff. But I think the best season is season 3.
oh, really, that's kind of where I dropped off a little bit.
Really? I don't. I'm trying to remember. I know what's the episode where they fight the was it in season 2 or 3 when they fight the crippled inmates, and like one of them has like half a body.
Oh, dude, we're going back a few years
Oh,
now.
okay, okay.
I remember just being switched off when the twins were pregnant, and I was like, okay, this show's
Oh,
getting a bit dumb.
yeah, that was dumb. But there's a small stretch of animation in this episode where they're fighting the crippled inmates, or like the special need ones, and like it's all really fluid, and there's a lot of camera movement, and I just was
Cool.
so blown away by it. I wish they'd do more stuff like that, but sometimes I noticed animation studios really shy away from that style of like long shots or fluid animation. They just kind of don't want to do it very often,
Well, expensive.
unless you're Studio Trigger.
I mean, it was a miracle that Samurai Jack series was as long as it was. It was well, like I think it was over 6 episodes, but that was a great send off for that IP.
Oh, the season 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was 10 episodes.
Um, but yeah, the only animation personally that's really stood out for me of recent times is like Spider Verse was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Oh yeah, I saw it twice.
Same here, same here.
Yeah.
I was just impressed by I kind of expected like an okay like animated movie, and I was like, oh wow, this is like probably my favorite like Western animated film since like Wall-E. Like I really like Wall-E, and like that was probably the last like animated film that struck me quite the same way.
Yeah.
Um, Wall-E was sick, dude.
Wally
Can't go
was
wrong.
really good. Most Pixar stuff is pretty good, but I wasn't overly impressed with Incredibles 2 or anything. So.
I think the last movie that I saw from Pixar was Inside Out, and it was fine. It
That's
was
one I've
fine.
never seen, but I know the most underwhelming movie they've ever made is The Good Dinosaur.
You serious?
It's not that it's bad; it's that it's bland.
Oh yeah, I do agree. There's a real juxtaposition with these simplistic character designs and the
Yeah,
really overly detailed backgrounds. But
yeah,
yeah, I
it
mean,
is weird.
in to be like, hey, I felt like that movie was like a good middle ground. Sure, it was a family movie, but I went and saw it with a bunch of friends all my age, and we had a great time. It was just like seeing one of the MCU movies.
Yeah.
Oh, MCU.
Uh, do you keep
It,
up with
it,
that?
does that normally come up on this podcast?
No,
The
it does
MCU.
not.
All right.
I think it's. I mean, maybe before, but
I'm like a goof for that kind of all that stuff. Like
hmm.
as far as like going to the movies and just having a fun time, I'm like fine with the MCU. I have a good time.
It's pretty.
But
It's pretty bulletproof. Like seeing a Marvel movie is definitely safe.
you're gonna have a really like okay 7 out of 10 like worst in my
Oh yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
Like I saw Captain Marvel and it was like it was fine. It was like I had fun. I'm not thinking about it like the day after seeing it, but just
absolutely.
going to see that with like friends and family, it's fine. No issue. Same with like Black Panther and Ant-Man. Like the smaller movies like
Mm-hmm.
are totally fine. But I do like the crossover movies a lot
The
like more.
Avengers
But
movies.
yeah, dude, like
Yeah.
I'm totally like a lot of people shit on like all the superhero stuff, but I'm totally fine with it. It's the only good movies that like Disney is still making. So
Well, they're definitely
everything
doing
else,
a better job with Marvel than they are with Star Wars.
yeah, and their own live action films, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was really unimpressed with the Aladdin trailer until they released this. Have you seen the new one where they show a little bit more of the world?
Yeah, it still looks boring as fuck to me.
Yeah, but it's definitely an improvement from the first two trailers that actually have like dances and stuff now. It looks a little bit more imaginative, but still not great.
It just doesn't light up my like interest when the especially almost like the way they format their trailer. It's so predictable. It's beat
Oh
by beat.
yeah.
It's all the visuals that you already know, but they just look more gross. It's worse performances.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross CGI rather than expressive animation.
I know
And but
the
mhm.
Dumbo CGI is really gross.
Yeah, well, that's Tim Burton. He's not made anything good in the longest time.
When was the last good movie he made?
You know what? Some people say it sucks, but I have a soft spot for Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
I've never heard of this.
It's Johnny Depp is an evil barber and he cuts people's throats and sings songs while he does it. I'm not selling it, but it's kind of like good because I like those kind of gothic musicals and things. But
Johnny Depp as a
I
barber is all I needed to hear. It sounds great.
okay, yeah, brilliant.
Uh,
Now he's acquitted. You can go see that movie. Don't have guilt about it.
right. I liked
But
Frankenweenie.
see, personally, I didn't enjoy that movie at all.
Oh, I just anything stop motion is usually pretty good.
Unless you're talking about Tim Burton made a short film for Disney back in like the early '90s, which was Frankenweenie, but it was a 20-minute live action movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was really cool. I like
Mm-hmm.
that version of Frankenweenie, but
That's
not
the
a big
version
fan
I
of the
haven't seen.
Oh, dude, it's worth checking out just for the comparison's
I
sake.
will. I used to
I
watch.
usually like lurks on the Nightmare Before Christmas DVDs if you go digging in those.
Okay, okay, I'll check that out. But a lot of that stuff's on YouTube, shouldn't it be?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
it is.
because he made that one. He made this when he was super crazy young. But that Vincent animation he did that was like 8 minutes long.
Yeah, yeah, that was really really cool.
Yeah, I don't even know how you managed to find the resources for that age in that time period.
I think it was funded once again by Disney. Um, or
Yeah,
maybe it was just when he was at Cal Arts. I'm not too
that's
sure,
possible
but
because he would have been really, really young.
yeah, but he pulled it off. That's one of my favorite things he's produced actually.
That Vincent animation.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's really cool. Obviously, my favorite Burton-esque thing. I know he wasn't the director on it,
Hmm.
but obviously Nightmare is fantastic.
Yeah, I think the true director of that movie, what's his name? Henry Selick.
Henry
Oh,
Selick,
Henry Selick.
yeah,
That's right.
Coraline, amazing
I
film.
was just you say it before I do.
Sorry,
No,
I'll
it's
zip it.
no. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean it like that. It's just Coraline is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a little bit fast in like the last act, but it is definitely one of the best stop motion movies of all time.
I do agree. Funny that you say it's fast towards the end because I kind of feel the middle drags a little bit. I don't
Well,
kind of like that structure of like meeting. The girl goes through and she meets all of her neighbors, and then she meets them in the other world. I
yeah,
feel the predictability of we've met these neighbors in the real world, and now we go into the other world, and now we meet them in the other world. Just kind of that predictability of the plot, but like for that middle section,
that's a good
like I'm a
point.
little bit whatever on, but as an entire film, it's great.
Yeah, yeah. I never really considered it like that, but you do have a good point. I like the idea of seeing alternate versions of things we've already seen, but uh,
I agree with you, but it's just kind of like how it's like structured. It feels like chapter by chapter, like this happens. Like as soon as you meet the two women, the two British performing
Mm-hmm.
ladies, you immediately are like, okay, well now we're gonna meet them in like the other world, and
Yeah.
like no, like, there's no level of threat. We're just gonna meet the opposite versions of them or whatever.
Yeah, but
Um,
their alternate version, like their other worldly versions of them, are completely insane. Like that whole scene where they're performing, and like there's the ship with like the twisting backgrounds. Like that's just so amazing that they were able to do something like that in stop
oh
motion.
yeah, all of the little the dogs in the audience and things as well. It's great.
Yeah, I noticed last time I watched the movie, it was the first time I noticed they fit those dogs for those outfits before they die.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it was McKin and Saunders that animated that. Um, and they came and did a talk at my university,
oh,
and they
that's
brought along
cool.
some of the puppets and things. That was kind of neat.
Man, I'd love to see something like that. I don't ever get to see meet animators until now, but
So it's it's not like any sort of other role. I feel unless you're in like an educational situation, you're not really going to meet any
right.
animators.
I don't go to conventions or anything that often, so I don't ever get to see stuff like that.
Yeah, I've only met like kind of voice actors and things at cons and stuff. So
Yeah, I know. What I have been to is Wizard World, and I was just there to meet the Cinema Snob and a couple of other small creators. But like the
channel awesome.
I
It's
know,
worth queuing up for. Worth queuing up for.
yeah.
You didn't know any better. It's fine. To be unironically, I would love to fucking meet was it James Rolfe? Like
Oh
I'd
yeah.
be down with that.
James Rolfe is like he's still good. He's still fine. He's still clean. But
Yeah.
um
Yeah, it's like as I said, it's just the sense of humor is the kind of the changes. But
yeah, the
in terms of meeting people, I met oh gosh, Mariel Cartwright, who
okay.
is the lead animator on Skullgirls and Indivisible, the RPG. She posts loads of her art and stuff on Twitter, and I love her art style, dude. Like, have you ever seen like
Hmm.
Skullgirls in like motion and all those crazy animations going off?
I haven't had the
It's
privilege of playing Skullgirls, but I will get it when it's on the Switch though.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. It's beautiful and it plays really well
Mm-hmm.
too. But just I had a chance to meet her and briefly speak. Her boyfriend is Tyson Heese, who does the Sonic Mania animations. He did like
Oh
Sonic comics and
wow.
stuff back in the day. Briefly spoke with him as well. This was at a Mega 64 event, but
Mm-hmm.
they were really great people, and it was a like in terms of like meeting other animators and things. Meeting Mariel Cartwright was really cool. Kinyu Cakes on Twitter, I think she's called. I also have met Zach Cadle, who did like Hellbenders and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, you've met Psychic Pebbles.
Yes,
Oh,
that's the I
I
forget
love him. He's the
his username.
best.
Yeah, he was a really chill guy. Only briefly met him at a bar, but he was
Oh, I see.
very nice.
I
We just
noticed.
spoke about Schmucks, which is the podcast that he runs.
Right. I wish they'd continue doing Sleepy Cabin, but until that day comes, I guess there's Escape Pod. But
Well, people have got to be, all those guys are off doing different creative things.
yeah,
So,
I know. The weirdest one is what's his name? Stamper. Uh, he definitely made a big change in what he does. I don't even know what he's doing anymore.
I'm familiar as well. I remember watching like a lot of his older content back when he was like a Newgrounds kind of moderator and things. All the
Yeah,
little videos and stuff. Those are great. But
he's a
yeah,
weird
like
guy.
people have got to move on and do different stuff though. Eventually, I'm gonna have to move on from all the stuff that I'm still doing. But Escape Pod will be here forever.
Oh,
Guaranteed.
jeez. Now I have to do it forever. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna mock up the fucking Simpsons thing, which is like, remember that you are here forever. And
Yeah,
you'll be good to go.
do it for her. Yeah. Uh,
do it for John.
do
Do it
it for
for
yeah.
Christian, who isn't
Oh
here,
God, I wish you could meet
who's
him.
slacking off.
He definitely helps
Hey,
me
I'll
out.
meet him because remember on the third day Christ will rise. So
That's
I'll
right.
I'll, I'll see him during the resurrection.
Yeah, then you'll meet. I'm just imagining the. I know. I'm imagining like Jesus rising out of the ground and it's Christian's face on the body.
That sounds I know I've seen that. I've seen that face. You know, I had to do my best with that
Well, yeah,
artwork for the show.
I don't know how long you
It's
had to draw it for, but you've definitely used it as a reference. I know.
hey, face only Chris and a John could love. That's my point of view on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
Anyway,
actually
video games. Let's
video
get some. I
games.
want to shoot the shit on vid games for a
Well,
little
it
bit.
sounds like you got something specific on your mind.
Can we just say like Capcom is like fucking back and it's wonderful.
What have they made recently? Like a Mega Man 11 and what else? Monster Hunter World,
And
Dead
then
Rising.
Ori remake and
Okay.
DMC5.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah, they are doing
just
good.
because I've been playing loads of Devil May Cry.
They're porting all the Resident Evils on Switch now, and then are we getting the Resident Evil 8 or what?
I'm sure we'll get RE8 probably within the next 2 years. They'll
Def
probably do Resident Evil 3 remake or maybe a
Yeah,
Revelations
that's
before that.
being talked about. What if they did like how far back can the
I'm in
Resident
for
Evil
that.
series go? Can they be like a Resident Evil negative one?
Negative one. They did. It was called Resident Evil Zero, right?
Well, yeah, Resident Evil 0. I'm talking. That's why I didn't
All
say
right.
0.
All right. Well, you know, I just let's get a point in there. You know, show me
Mm-hmm.
like what was Leon doing in Washington D.C. protecting
Right.
the president? Give me that Resident Evil 3.5. That's what I want.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But yeah, I just think the resurgence of Capcom as a company producing these really like high quality, big budget shit, with little compromise. Sure, there's
Mm-hmm.
microtransactions and DLC kind of sprinkled around, but in terms of how well these games play, I'm just very very impressed to see a Japanese developer kind of coming out swinging with some really stellar stuff. Having a great time with Devil May Cry,
That's
really
good.
fun.
I picked up the HD collection recently. I hope. Do you think I should bother getting caught up on it, or do you think I could skip straight to 5?
I would say just do three
Okay.
and do three, and if you really enjoy three, do four, but just play through the first like half of four, like Nero's section,
What about the
just so you get a
reboot?
feel for how Nero plays. Oh yeah, don't touch that reboot. I mean, you can touch the reboot. It's
Some people like it as like a game on its own.
I didn't mind it, the
Mm-hmm.
combat, but I just don't like how there are a bunch of weapons, but they're all tied to individual buttons. You don't like swap out
Mm-hmm.
loadouts of weapons. Um,
Well,
that was kind of what I didn't
well,
enjoy.
the only Devil May Cry game I've played is not a Devil May Cry game at all. It's Bayonetta. So
That's the best Devil May Cry game,
yeah, I agree.
dude. You're
I
set then. Though I will say that DMC5 is a good competitor towards Bayonetta. The
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta wins out on pure spectacle and
Oh
level
yeah.
design.
I liked Bayonetta 1 more than Bayonetta 2.
I agree with you. I really don't like that little shit kid. What's his name? Loki.
Oh, the little girl that looks like Bayonetta.
No, that's Sarasa. She's adorable. She's great. You
Okay, yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Bayonetta. You can't hate on
No,
Bayonetta.
Loki's like the he's like the coffee shop douchebag guy.
No, that's oh gosh, what's the name? That's Luca. I'm on about like in Bayonetta 2, there's like the fucking Egyptian god card looking
Oh
kid.
yeah, like you play as him briefly, and
Yeah,
he
and
looks
he
like a
talks like this,
Jet Set Radio
love, and
skit.
he's like, what are you doing here, Bayonetta, love? Fuck you. And he's like, oh, terrible.
Yeah, he that was a weird time in that game, but
Yeah, I kind of like the beginning and at the end when it like does all the time travel stuff. Spoilers, sorry,
the only
but
thing
don't like that kid.
spoilers. Uh, yeah, it took me a while to remember who you were talking about. He's so forgettable, but I the reason I like the first game better is because the ending of the first game lasts forever and it's absolutely bonkers. While the second game, you just kind of like knock this thing out in the roll credits.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciated the countless false endings
Yeah,
for Bayonetta.
Bayonetta 1's the king of false endings. It's also kind of like the king of that whole aesthetic of like goofier, sexier games. Like I know like Lollipop Chainsaw and No More Heroes like try to do the same thing,
Mm.
and I really
Yeah,
appreciate that type of thing. But not everyone likes it as much. But for some reason, Bayonetta is like the game that gets away with it.
we definitely went through a period after the huge success of like Call of Duty and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like last gen, there was this big shift of games that just wanted to get more realistic, more gritty, more grounded,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all narrative driven and online multiplayer. And we really like came away from things like high scores and the style meter and that kind of arcadey nature of getting your rankings and getting all the high rank, just kind of like getting good at a game.
Mm-hmm.
Even not in the same way, like people always say, Dark Souls is a game
Right.
that you have to get very good at, but it's not like you get ranked in Dark Souls for your performance. You don't
Mm-hmm.
get points. But Bayonetta and like DMC, these games that give you the style meter and give you points, and there's something that is inherently satisfying about watching like a meter grow up or watching a number go higher as time goes on.
Yeah.
We seem to be seeing that come back a little bit with I know it wasn't a huge success, but oh gosh, Onrush was a racing game that did stuff like that. I
Okay.
know
Yeah.
Burnout came back. I
Well,
love shit like Everybody's Golf, like these
everybody's.
arcadey experiences.
Yeah, everybody's golf was an awesome, awesome game.
Hell yeah,
But
it's a fun one to stream for sure. I enjoy streaming that if I
oh,
get a spare
how
moment.
do you stream like on Twitch or something?
I don't stream on Twitter. I stream on YouTube,
Okay.
but it's like mainly art streams. But if I get a moment, I do games. I last year I was able to do a couple of like full playthroughs. I did a full Lollipop Chainsaw playthrough, as you
Nice.
just mentioned,
Yeah, that
and I
game's
also
awesome.
I mean it's kind of shit, but it's kind of fun. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But like, it's the best form of shit, and
It's like a B movie video game. It's like throwing on Evil Dead or something. Just
that's what I love about it.
yeah, it like the controls kind of suck. It's like glitchy as hell, but it was a fun one to stream for sure. But
Yeah.
that and did Banjo Kazooie. During E3, I try and do a big marathon of games, one after the other, sort of every 30 minutes, like swap it out, which is like super fun to do. But it's mainly art streams is what I'm doing, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's a great way to help motivate me while I'm working.
That's right. I've never had it. I don't stream very often. I can't fit. I'm no I'm no good at doing it on my laptop, but I do have done it on the PS4 quite a bit.
Oh yeah, that's like super convenient. I used to like do like Resident Evil 4 a
Yeah.
few years ago. I was streaming from the PS4 like that.
Yeah.
You got to show everybody what you're doing if you ain't streaming it, then why be
Why
alive?
bother? Yeah, I do kind of get that in my head. It's like, man, I want to play this game, but I could be making content at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been streaming this whole podcast, so
You better be.
no one's safe. No one's safe.
Like I'm checking
The
my sub count right now.
it's oh whoa oh fuck! I think yeah, it's dropping. It's drop. Oh shit! What the fuck
10,000
have I done?
subscribers?
Wait, what?
I'm joking.
Did we do it?
No.
Holy shit!
Have you?
Holy shit! We fucking hit 10,000.
Oh,
Yo,
thank you, everyone. I couldn't have done
I
it without you.
want to thank my mom. I want to thank Gabe Newell for finally realizing that numbers can just continue going up. I want to thank Sakaguchi because the Final Fantasy numbers keep going up, and then I kind of want to thank Freud and Einstein because they were good with numbers. Who knew?
I would like
You did it. You got that silver play button. How do you feel?
You don't get the silver play button until 100,000.
Oh fuck!
Well, I got the play button in spirit, man. I appreciate it.
What's our kind of run time? I've not been checking the timing.
We've been recording for 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Okay. Is that good to go? Can you edit something fun out of that? And or do you want like a little end segment?
Oh, are you ready to wrap up?
Yeah. If
All right,
that's all right. I just kind of want to
we
get on
can-
with some art.
Right, we can cover one more subject and then wrap it up.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Sure.
so
Just
Yeah,
cut out all this shit
yeah, I'm gonna stage
from
it.
my
I'm gonna stage it right now.
from like my oh fuck shout. Just do like a little distortion or something.
Well, Froggy, I
Yeah?
appreciate you helping us get to 10,000 subs. I think it's time to wrap things up, though. What are some last
did it.
things on your mind that we can talk about?
Oh
To
fuck.
end the show.
You asked about my favorite food earlier for the
Yeah,
whole
that
like
was gonna be like
dining.
my warm up conversation, but now it can
Favorite
be our
food.
ending conversation.
End the evening with a nice delicious meal. That's the way to go.
Oh yeah, I haven't eaten
Um,
anything yet today.
Let me think. Okay, so do we like plan out like the perfect fucking meal?
Like
Um,
yeah, like what's one thing that you always look forward to that your mouth waters at the mere sight of?
um, okay, so number one is ass and pussy. No jokes. Um,
And that's the end of the episode, folks. Thanks for
no,
listening.
no. Hey, don't fucking censor me. This is important information, right? So for first like starters, man, like I'm like, is my brain going to like American barbecue, or are we going to like fucking international
Just
dishes or whatever?
what's like what would your if you were on death row, what would your last meal
Death
be?
row. Okay, do you know what like burnt ends are? Like the end of like a brisket.
Afraid not.
So if you got like beef, if you got like beef brisket and you cut the end off of it, and then you get basically the bit of the meat that's like caramelized a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
get that, you throw a dust on it, and then you like do a light shallow fry of it. Burnt ends, terrible for you, but really really delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's like American barbecue stuff.
So you
Um,
you enjoy American influenced food?
oh yeah, I'm an American at heart because my heart is covered in kind of like grease and fat and all those
Yeah,
terrible things.
we definitely go all out when it comes to frying shit. That's for sure.
My blood is 50% grease at the moment, but no, like burnt ends are great. Hey, you can't go wrong with garlic bread. Shouts out to garlic bread,
Oh,
innocent and pure.
you guys got Olive Garden where you live?
It's like an Italian place, right?
Kind of. It's just yeah, it is. It's they're known for their free breadsticks.
All right, sweet. I'm
Yeah.
not really a breadstick person though. It's like too dry for me.
Oh, I see. But garlic bread's really good. Have you ever made like garlic bread in your own oven?
No, but I have had it before. I
Mm.
like somebody else has like made that before, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's good
It's really nice, nice and
if you know how to
crunchy.
make with like the big cloves of garlic in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Um, Good for hoarding off those vampires as well. Gosh, my brain. Like for a main meal, like anything that's kind of like like ribs are great. Shouts out to ribs, a good steak. Um, like a terrible pizza if one about like death row. But if I'm on about like
Oh, pizza.
more mellow foods,
Mm-hmm.
um, man, like gosh no, like I hate pies. I hate like pastries and meats.
Really?
Um,
Oh, like
but
meat pies.
I know one thing that's big here is like Indian food. Like UK does great with chicken korma curries and Thai red curries as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like a curry and rice. Katsu curry, Japanese, is great too.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm always down for fucking anything with like any kind of Asian cuisine, dumplings and
Oh yeah.
uh, you know
Do you guys
any
have
kind of chow mein.
any of those Japanese restaurants where they cook in front of you and they do the giant flame to clean the?
Oh yeah, the tapenendo, tapenyaki, the tapenyaki tapo endo. I know what you're on about, where they like fucking throw onions at your face.
Yeah, yeah. That we do that for my birthday every year. It's so god darn good.
It's weird. It's you kind of go for part of the that kind of crazy chef experience, but the
Yeah,
food is like solid. You can't. It's hard to kind of fuck up noodles and meat though, but
sure is.
it's
I don't know. I
yeah,
always
like ramen's great.
I always try to experiment whenever I go to like a good Chinese restaurant. I always try to order something that sounds good, and then I get it and I hate it.
I'd say
With Chinese food,
chickens.
I gotta keep it just like chicken and rice, man. That's what I'm safe with.
Yeah, like usually like chicken's like always like a good go-to when it comes to like Asian cuisine.
Absolutely, they know how to cook
Um,
good chicken.
I think in ostrich
Ostrich.
is like, oh fuck that.
I've had
I remember when I
kangaroo.
was in Paris one time, you've had kangaroo,
Kangaroo and alligator are my two exotic foods. Yeah.
alligator. I feel like gate is quite easy to access in the
Oh yeah, it is.
jerky and
Depends
stuff.
when where you go. But yeah, alligator's not that exotic, but like kangaroo is the only thing I can like conversation piece I've had.
As long as like it didn't have a baby in the pouch, I think people will be chill with that.
And I'm thinking of Roo from Winnie the Pooh and
Oh,
imagining like
oh,
eating
oh,
his mum.
oh dear. Oh, the gore. That'll make history in that 100 acres, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I was in Disneyland Paris,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want any of that French shit. Get that away from me. So I was, we went to like a buffet thing, and I went around all these like different buffet tables, and I just wanted all the American shit, but they put like the fried chicken or whatever. It was like right next to the escargot.
Mm-hmm.
So all these like snails just hanging out next to the Colonel's like secret recipe, and I was like, dude, put me right off the. I respect all like that kind of cuisine and stuff, but like I couldn't ever like take the plunge, that kind of stuff. Hey, frog's legs, it'll be cannibalism. So
Right, you're
com-
not allowed to eat frogs. You're not missing much either, so
I'm contractually obliged
to never
to
have
not
it.
eat frogs.
Well, that's the
French
way.
fries, no food.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. Take me to a 50s diner, give me like.
Heck, we've got a lot of burger joints around here. There's this place we had a restaurant chain called GD Ritzy's, and they recently revived it, and it's a really good burger. And
Yeah, we've just kind of got like loads of Five Guys that have opened up around here.
ooh, Five
People,
Guys is the best.
I was always told that In-N-Out Burger was kind of like the best burger you could get, at least on the West Coast.
I don't live near.
And
I don't
I
live near
tried it,
there.
and I was like, that's fine, it's okay.
Yeah. What
But
place has
people
your
speak really high of it,
what place is your favorite burger?
huh?
What place do you have as like your favorite burger?
It would probably be like Five Guys
Oh
or
yeah.
um, the burgers that we do in the UK. If you go to like a gastro pub, if
Mm-hmm.
you go to like a nice like British pub and you order
Oh
a
yeah.
nice burger, we like get the mince and we make it doesn't sort of come like a patty. It's just like a really disc almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like hard in your mouth because they usually like throw all the onion rings and tomatoes and lettuce and stuff.
Christ, I don't even know if I could.
And then our seasoned in the middle, so it is just kind of like eating like mince. So, because it's so thick, it just doesn't have any flavor to it,
Oh, okay. I
which
see.
sucks. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But yeah, and for dessert, since we're wrapping everything up, give
Oh
me
yeah.
that. Give me that. Give me a nice waffle. Give me a baked Alaska. I'm not a big ice cream person. I like churros and like cinnamon flavors.
Oh yeah.
Um, if it's fried, I'll. There you go. But I also like lava cake. Lava cake's fucking great too.
That's some fancier stuff. I know my luxury, the dessert thing I like is brownies a la mode.
So that's brownies with what?
Ice cream on top. It's
Alamo.
yeah.
See, that's not, you're making it sound more fancy than it is. There.
That's the whole point. I know Frisch's Big Boys has a very like a fraudulent a la mode. Like it's not a very good brownie. It's good ice cream, but
Mm.
the a good a la mode is we have a restaurant here called O'Charlie's that does a really mean a la mode brownie.
I mean, Alamo. If they throw enough hot fudge on it, like we don't have much hot fudge here, but hot
Hmm.
fudge is that's the stuff right there. Love it.
Hot fudge is so good, man.
Right,
Well,
time for me to fudge off then.
yeah. Well, I'm all. You got
That's
me.
what we say.
This
If you
food
don't want to
dis-
be saying the bad words, we say fudge off.
this food discussion has got me all nice and hungry. It's time for me to go grab some food. But Froggy, thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
You've been an amazing
I'm cooking.
guest.
I'm gonna cook you this meal now.
Go enjoy that, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
No worries. Thank you, all listeners to the. Thanks to all the listeners of the Escape Pod, Poddy, Paddy cast.
This has been episode 16. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Yeah, shouts out. Bye bye.